Kia ora and welcome along to the Met Service National Forecast for today, Monday, the 3rd of July. As those calendars ticked over to July, the weather has definitely taken a very wintry feel, a very cool start for many of us this morning, and that snowfall over the weekend down south. Now, as we go through the rest of this week, we're going to find our winds coming in from that south or southwesterly quadrant. And I think we are going to find things are still feeling pretty cool. Even as the temperatures are around about normal for what we'd expect for this time of year, it will have a distinctly cool feel to it. And you can see on these charts, these satellite images, those showers streaming in on those southwesterly winds. So it's still looking like a pretty unsettled day today. More wind watches and warnings in place, and still with some more heavy rainfall down through parts of Southland and closer through Monday afternoon. And add into the mix some thunderstorms across those central parts of the country, through parts of the Taranaki Bight, for example. We've still got a fairly active looking at Monday afternoon ahead of us. As we go through this afternoon, we'll find those winds still coming in from that southwesterly direction, still pretty brisk. Worth saying, if you're heading home around about 3 or 4 o'clock, could be some pretty windy weather through parts of Northland, Auckland, down through that western side of the North Side, even in towards parts of, say, Banks Peninsula and down in the far south. We've got some more strong winds as we go through the rest of this afternoon. But a good southwesterly can make it feel fairly cold for many of us as we go through the next few days. But we have got some still pretty wet weather as well being pushed in on those southwesterlies, especially down towards the likes of, say, Southland, Otago, and particularly those northern parts of Southland, in towards those mountains north of, say, Mosburn. So we are going to find a pretty unsettled story there. We have got that severe weather warning in place through the rest of this afternoon for Monday. Another 40 to 60 millimetres of rainfall about the higher ground, but I think we are going to find that starts to ease off as we head through towards tomorrow. But it's not just the rainfall. As you saw on those charts, we've got plenty of windy weather as well, and there are a fair number of severe weather watches in place for that wind from, say, places like Southland, Stewart Island, Banks Peninsula, Nelson, Marlborough, Wellington, Wairarapa, that central part of the North Island, that western part of the North Island, and even up in towards Northland and Auckland. Severe wind watches for you, with those winds perhaps reaching severe gale at times as we go through this afternoon. And also some warnings as well. Now, the warning down in the far south is ready for Tuesday, but we could well find some stronger winds today. But those winds could reach 120 kilometres an hour in the most exposed areas, and up to around about severe gale force as well. And a similar kind of values up towards the Coromandel and Great Barrier Island as we head through this afternoon as well. But a fairly windy story as we go through the rest of Monday. As we head through the night time, you can see we're still stuck in that southwesterly feed of air. So if you're out towards the eastern side, generally things are going to be drier, clearer, and a little bit colder for you. More cloud out towards the west and a few showers still with us, especially down in the far south. But you can see still rather a blustery southwesterly as we head through and towards the early hours of the morning for Tuesday. Where we keep that wind, it's not going to be as cold, but I think where you get those sheltered spots, really will be some cold and frosty mornings. Temperatures back down to around about 1 degree Celsius for, like I say, Christchurch, not far off as we head up towards the North Island. 3s and 4s for Hawke's Bay and up in towards Taupo, but I think it will be cooler in those cold, sheltered, frosty spots. Where you get the wind, temperatures 4s and 6s still, I think, going to make it just windy enough to keep away that frost, but a cold feeling starts the day, if nothing else, as we go through towards Tuesday. Now, the weather for Tuesday, well, we're stuck in that southwesterly pattern as well. So more showers still about those western parts, but you can see as we go through the daytime, those showers start to ease away and things do improve. In terms of rainfall, things are going to get better. Still rather blustery, so I think keep an eye on those severe weather watches, especially places like the Coromandel as we head in towards Tuesday, and also down towards where we've got that severe weather warning down towards Dunedin and around parts of Otago and Clutha. More strong winds for you for Tuesday as well. But we'll start off on the north side. If you're looking for dry weather, head across towards the Bay of Plenty, Gisborne, Tairāwhiti, down towards Hawke's Bay, Wairarapa, Wellington. Plenty of dry weather there. More cloud on this western side and a few showers, but even here, they're not going to be as prevalent as we'll find the showers this afternoon. For Monday afternoon, there's a fair number of them, and some of those are going to be quite heavy, but a drier day for Tuesday. But you can see we're still going to be left with these showers being pushed in on these southwesterly winds, but those southwesterly winds as well should ease off as we head through the daytime. Here are our top temperatures for Tuesday. Highs in, say, Taupo, 13 degrees Celsius, up to around about 16 or so in Auckland, and not as cold as we head through the night time, Tuesday in towards Wednesday. Down on the south side, we're again going to find some of the drier, brighter weather out on this eastern coast, from, say, Marlborough right the way down towards Canterbury and those northern parts of Otago. More showers, though, still being pushed in with those southwesterly winds through parts of Otago and Southland, Fiordland, and around that western coast. More cloud through there as well. Generally, though, drier, brighter, clearer, and some nice spells of sunshine out towards the east. But the caveat being, that's where you're going to get your cold temperatures first thing. Talking of temperatures, here's how we look as we go through in towards the afternoon. Highs of about 15 degrees Celsius there, down towards Timaru. But again, overnight temperatures back down below freezing as we go through in towards the early hours of Wednesday morning. As we talk about Wednesday, we are going to find things are still, I think, a little bit more unsettled, at least first thing. We are going to find as we head through the daytime, higher pressure builds across from the west. And that should generally make things a little bit more settled, generally drier and brighter, nice clear skies as we go through the daytime. Those winds easing away from the likes of, say, the Otago Peninsula, still rather blustery to start the day though, but things should get better and not quite as blustery. Generally still with that southwesterly feed of air though, so still not brilliantly warm. And with that clear sky returning overnight, I think many of us will find it's another cold night as we go through and towards, say, the early hours of Thursday. We might find again a bit more mist and fog reforming across towards places like Alexandra and Wanaka again as we go through and towards those early hours. And also keep an eye on the forecast there. But I think things generally are becoming a bit more settled, a bit quieter, but still pretty cool as we head in towards the middle part of the week. That's it from me. It's from metservice.com.